Hello everyone, I know I've looked at these models once before, but in the intervening years I've gotten a lot better at editing and I've got a much nicer camera so I can see the detail a lot better. So we have the Acela Express, the Acela HHP-8, an Acela P40 or Phase IV P40, and then a bunch of coaches. So here we are, this is one of our Acela power cars. This one is the unpowered one, number 2004, and this is the powered one. So as you can see, the moulding is really nice. These are models by Bachmann, and I should point out that these are actually slightly older models. The retooled versions from 2008 or so, they went and reinstalled LEDs as the lamps and in these track lamps here, and I think they made them DCC ready. But I think other than that, the exterior didn't change very much. So we've got our twin pantographs, which you can put up and down. Got a very nice Acela logo printed on there, so that's nice to see. And then you've also got a smaller one underneath the cab. Also, opening doors that look nice. That's a nice touch. Roof detail, fantastic. You've got all these nice bits of equipment on the top, and obviously the pantographs look great. So yes, there's your power cars. Now the passenger cars, these do have a tilting mechanism. So if I turn them like that, you can see that the cars are tilting, and I'm not doing that just with my hands. I'm just turning the trucks, and you can see that the car body is going from side to side like that as it goes around the corner. So the interiors are fully installed, and there is lighting actually in the cars. However, the combination of the fact that these glazing strips are darkly tinted and that the fact that the incandescent lights in the inside are not that bright means that even if you're running these at full power, you're not going to see much of the interior. However, they did fix that on the later models because they had LEDs installed inside, so it's much easier to see the interiors. So they're pretty nicely detailed. The only problem I think with the Acela set is that the couplers do present a few problems here and there. They are pretty fiddly, and if you have one fall off or break, it's pretty difficult to reinstall it. Otherwise, it's a really fantastic model, and I've really enjoyed having it. Okay, next we have our accompanying HHP-8 unit, which is a standalone double-ended locomotive built by Bombardier, I think, or Bombardier. Both of these, the Acelas and the HHP-8s, were developed by Bombardier. These are now being replaced by the brand new ACS-64s, which I saw some of in Washington. Those are built by Siemens. These have been, well, the real ones, they've been plagued with all kinds of troubles, including, I think, a brake disc fault, which led them to need extensive servicing. Now, actually, I think this locomotive is possibly even better detailed than the Acela power cars, for the very reason that maybe this came out slightly later, and so they were able to do a lot more, and also perhaps the design isn't quite as sleek, but it has a lot more in terms of like detail on this front end here. You can see there's a lot of hoses and so on around the coupler area. Very nice cab interior. We've got a driver in there. Roof detail's fantastic. We've got, again, retractable pantographs. I think if you take them apart, there is an option that you can run them off the pantograph, which I think I've seen them doing on YouTube at one point. This is a very nice model. And this one comes DCC ready, so you can get this on DCC running. Also opening doors, and you've also got directional headlights, which are LED lamps. So we've got these center two are white and the outer two are red. You've also got track level lamps here and there, and they're functioning on both ends. So it's a nicely lit up locomotive, and very strong too. This is by Walthers, or it was sold by Walthers, but supplied and made, I think, by Aethern, even though it's not really marked on the bottom or anything. I think these have now been retired, and Kato are now producing P42s in HO scale. So paint application is okay. I think the silver leaves a little bit to be desired. It slightly looks nail polishy for some reason to me. The metallic paint doesn't quite look as good as it could do. Otherwise, it's actually quite a minimalistic paint scheme, so there's not a huge amount to comment on in terms of the paint application. You've just got this Shamu wave thing, which I think I've heard it called that. Amfleet cars. However, this is in the short-lived, what they call the capstone scheme, or Phase V, which is this kind of blobs scheme. Now I got 3 of these along with this in the Northeaster set from Bachmann. One of the things I really like about these is that they were cheap, so I could buy a bunch of them, and also the internal lighting is LED. Not only that, but they have the red marker lights at the back. Yep, I've got 3 of these. I've got 2 of those coaches, and this is our cafe car. Now, as I say, this scheme was only in service between 2001 and 2, so it didn't really last very long. However, if you want something which actually matches up with the Acela cars like that, you can see it's obviously part of the same design, so it's a nice thing to have on your layout.